Insects can see ultraviolet light and are known to identify important food sources and mating sites by sensing the characteristic patterns of ultraviolet light that these things reflect. Okay, so they're saying that we can see ultraviolet light, or insects can see this light that is known to, and this ultraviolet light is what identifies the food and mating sites, and they're able to do that by sensing the characteristic patterns of the lights. Cool, that these things reflect. Insects are also attracted to glomustus spider webs, which reflect ultraviolet light. Thus, insects are probably attracted to these webs because of the specific patterns of ultraviolet light that these webs reflect. All right, so what is our conclusion for this one?
This one I think, hold on. I think it's the last sentence. Thus,
Yeah.
or probably.
All right, and why do we think that the insects are attracted to these webs because of the specific patterns of ultraviolet light that they reflect? What is our reasoning for that?
Because of patterns that the webs reflect.
Well, what about but where does that come from? They're saying that, okay, we're saying we're probably avoided to them because of the patterns, but why do we think that we're attracted to them because of the patterns?
Because there's like important food sources and mating sites.
Well, there are, but they say that they tells us that they are attracted to this light again, and they are known to like the food mating sites because they kind of give us like a comparison, right? They say like, well, they probably are attracted to them because of the specific patterns, because also they're attracted to the patterns when it's talking about food sources and mating sites. So we want to strengthen the idea that they're attracted to these things because of because of this. All right. So let's go ahead and start with A.
When the webs of many, so for this, what we're strengthening is why they were probably
Yes, we're strengthening the idea that they were attracted to the webs because of the specific patterns of the ultraviolet light of these webs would reflect.
Okay. So when the webs of many different species of spiders were illuminated with a uniform source of white light containing an ultralight component, many of these webs did not reflect. That doesn't do any, that weakens it,
Yeah,
no?
yeah. When many different species of spiders were illuminated with a uniform source of a white light containing. It's like cool. So these ones did not reflect ultraviolet light. That doesn't have anything to do about these
Yeah.
specific webs. Excellent.
Mm, when the silks of the spiders that spin silk only for lining burrows and covering eggs were eliminated with white light containing an ultraviolet component, the silks of these spiders reflected ultralight. Um, I don't think we know anything about the silks and the linings and all that stuff, so that one would be wrong for that
Well,
reason.
we get to bring in new information. But
Yeah.
even if this were true, does that do anything to to strengthen the idea that it's these specific patterns of ultraviolet light that caused them to like these glassful spider webs?
Originally, I thought, oh, maybe that new information, um, like, um, it gave it like a reason, but
When the silk of spiders that spin silk only for lining burrows and covering eggs were illuminated. But this is saying like whenever they were illuminated with a light that had ultraviolet components, the
mhm,
silk of these, like they're just saying like the silk reflected the ultraviolet light.
but not the actual like reflect these webs like reflected the light.
But we're I mean, it doesn't even matter if it did or it didn't. We're trying to prove why the insects were attracted to these webs.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So because, well, it doesn't really like do
do
it.
we know? Do we know if our webs here, the Glasma ones, are silk or not?
No, we don't know anything
No.
about.
And even if they were silk and they reflected ultraviolet light, does that mean that they're attracted to them because of the ultraviolet light?
No.
It gives us the same issue, even.
Yeah.
All right. So what about C?
When webs are comparatively recent, involved common garden spiders were eliminated with white light containing an ultraviolet component. Only certain portions of these webs reflected ultraviolet light. Wouldn't that weaken it because it says certain portions?
No, once again, like what is our goal is proving that they like the ultraviolet light. Where this once again is just saying that it's reflecting it. But it's the same reason as B. Like, okay, it's reflecting it. We don't know if that's what they're attracted to or not.
So that's also bringing in new information that we don't really know about.
Well, it's bringing in new information that just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right,
So
let's look at B.
the oh, drossil
Yeah,
dro
when B fruit flies, I have no idea.
yeah, when fruit flies were placed before glamorous web and synthetic web of similar pattern that also reflected ultralight, and both webs were illuminated with white light containing an ultraviolet component. Many of the fruit flies flew to the web. So that would well, wouldn't that also be like new information?
Okay, it is, but like it's the issue is not that it's bringing in new information. Like we're allowed to bring in new information on strength and questions, but the
Mhm.
the new information has to do something for us. So essentially, what is D saying?
It's basically saying that there's another reason for the ultralight, right?
But no, I want you to tell me tell me in your own words what happened here.
Um so it's saying that there were it was saying because
What
these flies,
happened?
so I think they did some kind of like experiment or
What?
something.
So we have a fruit fly, right? And what did we do with the fruit fly?
We put them before the web that we're trying to prove. So
The G web and the S web. We put them in front of the G web and the S web. Excellent.
yeah, and with
What
the
do we
similar
know
pattern.
about? Yep. So the G and the S web have similar pattern, and they both reflected ultraviolet light. Cool. And so
And
when both of them, what happened to both of them?
they flew to the G web.
Yeah. So does that prove that the insects are attracted to the specific patterns of ultraviolet light?
No.
No, because they both had it. This only
Yeah.
weakens
They
it
both
where it's like when they have the same thing, they're still going to the G web. And it's like, why are they going to the G web? It might be something else because when you put two things that had had specific patterns with ultraviolet light, they still chose the G web.
and we have to, and isn't it what we're trying to show is that the G web should be like the only one with the light,
Yeah.
or
How could this would be right if or more right if the G web if the S web did not have the similar patterns and they chose the G web, right? That would strengthen it. But since they have the same pattern, it doesn't do anything.
yeah. Okay.
So now let's look at E.
When the fruit flies were placed before the G web, one illuminated with white light containing an ultralight component, and one illuminated with white light without an ultralight component. The majority flew to the ultralight. So that's like what we said before. Like
Yeah,
the
that strengthens the idea that they like the ultralight component.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's different. We know that they like it for that reason, and that's why E is our answer.